Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. We are just a few days away from 2026, and we are free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty. We are free at last from this LSU football season that it just the Tigers finished 7-6. Tommy, we can move on from this 25 chapter, turn to 2026. What a disappointing year it was. Culminated with a disappointing bowl game where they're winning 14-0 against Houston on the road. I don't care if it's interim coach. I don't care if it's a lot of backup players. 14-0 lead against Houston. You should be able to win. They did not. And at least now we can turn the page officially, and they are. We'll find out in the next couple weeks, who they sign, who's all coming, entering the portal, etc.
Well, Ronnie, you know what's interesting is let's go back 4 months. LSU was getting ready to play Clemson. LSU was number three in the country. Clemson was number six. Uh, Garrett Nussmeier, front runner for the Heisman. Cade Klubnik in the conversation a little further down. And Dabo Sweeney said we're going to go 16-0. Everybody thinks LSU's going to win the SEC, certainly make the playoffs. Fast forward to today, both teams went 7-6. Both teams finished 7-6 after their bowl games, and they opened the season Saturday, September 5 in Tiger Stadium, Baton Rouge, Tiger Stadium, Death Valley. So, and LSU has a new coach. Both teams went 7-6 a short 4 months ago. I mean, they were both way up here. Now, I mean, LSU might be preseason ranked 20, 21, 22. I don't know if Clemson would be preseason ranked. LSU might get some juice because of Lane Kiffin, and we'll see what happens with the portal. That'll be another factor. So I think at best, LSU's, 18th at best, somewhere around 20th. Who knows if Clemson's even ranked? A huge, stark difference from 4 months ago.
Crazy situation. Yeah, I mean, just less than 4 months ago. I mean, I'm at the game. It's the first game of the year. We're in Clemson, South Carolina. LSU wins. They're talking about LSU on the talk shows the next day as a top four team in the country. A lot of picks to win the national championship. Nussmeier's literally the leading favorite odds in Vegas to win the Heisman right after that game. That next week, he was the Heisman frontrunner because remember, Arch Manning was the frontrunner. Nussmeier was kind of second going into the year. And then when Manning didn't play well in that first game and Nussmeier won, they switched spots. And I mean, that seems like 14 years ago, even though it was only 4 months ago, because that's how much the world has changed in that amount of time. Gary Nussmeier's a forgotten afterthought at this point. He's a footnote in LSU football history. Um, the luster on his shine has fallen so fast. We've got a new head coach. I mean, it's wild. It's wild how the world turned on its head so quickly. Same thing for Penn State, by the way. Who in the 3 week period of time went from top three in the country to new coach. I'm surprised you mentioned Dabo Sweeney. I'm surprised that he has not resigned or been fired at Clemson. Now, I understand he's their Skip Bertman, if you will, but all good things come to an end when it comes to football coaches and all that. I'm surprised it hasn't happened there, or he hasn't chosen to step away.
Well, he has a couple skins on the wall, okay, and I believe and he's been there a long time. I would think if there's another 7-6 or similar record, and it's not no shot at the playoffs next year, Clemson will go in a different direction. But you're right. When that portal first opened, he didn't want to embrace it. We're going to do the old-fashioned way. Then all of a sudden, he realized he better embrace it, like everybody else was doing. So interesting story. I think if Sweeney was going to do anything, you would know before this Friday when the portal opens. So I am a little surprised that nothing happened. But then again, when you look at the skins on the wall and another championship game appearance, and the overall picture, it's pretty darn good.
It was just a barrage of players declaring for the portal. I mean, at this point, from LSU, at this point, I mean, what are we even surprised about? I mean, they just all of them are going into portal, right? Whether some of them are going into portal because why wouldn't you? if you have the opportunity, Tommy, to be a free agent and to just shop your value, even if it's just to get a value, right? Like let's just say hypothetically, LSU offers you $100,000 to come back. You want more money. You go in the portal. You get an offer from someone else for 200. You go to LSU. Hey, look, I really love to come back, but South Carolina just offered me $200,000. Do I take it and go, or do you match it? You know what I mean? Like that's what this is. I think some of that's this, right? Um, but it's crazy times. How about the Lane Kiffin appearance in the booth during the game? Did you see that?
I did see every second of that.
I don't know if I'm old school or what, but like it bothers me that he had on the Wilson's leather tan bomber jacket from the mall that you used to get, buy one get one 50% off at Wilson's Leather, which I loved. Wilson's Leather. I had a black kind of mini trench coat that I wore all the time. But like where's the LSU gear, Lane? Why you too cool for school to be rocking the LSU gear? Or at least a purple jacket or something. I mean, I don't know, man. That bothers me.
Well,
But it is what it is with him. You got
well,
to take the good with the bad with him.
well, and I think he might have was hoping not to be the focus of attention, but hey, he was the one walking on the sidelines with his son, taking pictures with Mike the Tiger. I mean, he did all of that. So I agree with you. A different apparel get up could have been a little bit more timely, especially because the camera locked on him for several minutes, and then you get back to the brand. I mean, even if he's got a purple sport coat on, I mean, it's still Brandon LSU, but Lane Kiffin's Lane Kiffin. If he wins, nobody's going to care what color special leather jacket he's got on.
Yeah, and look, he is going to be a hands-off head coach for the defense. Baker is going to run that shop. He's going to run that show. Obviously, it didn't go well in the bowl game. I know he was playing, with his hands behind his back. No Perkins, no, Weeks, no all these other guys, but still, Kiffin's going to be the mad scientist genius when it comes to calling plays. Baker will be running the defense, and the interviews will be a little strange. They're going to be less Miles-ish, the interviews. I think Lane is more dynamic as a on social media than he is in real life. Right, he's funnier, he's sarcastic, he has meaning behind a lot of his tweets and things that are hidden. Lane's entertaining on social media. At a microphone, not so much. But at the end of the day, uh, just win, baby. Figure out a way to get to 10 wins and get your ass in a playoff if you're LSU. That's all it's about. Get 10 wins, get in that playoff. And you get 10 wins, Tommy, and you go 10-2, you're going to be in the playoffs if you're LSU across the chest.
I agree with you. So, all the other stuff's going to be around for the next 9 months, but 8 months plus. But, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun ride, I think. And I think LSU fans are going to enjoy it. And every now and then they get to, poke a little fun or talk about this or that. But, I mean, Lane Kiffin's Lane Kiffin. I mean, we all know the history. And you're right. None of that matters. Nothing else matters. The old Metallica song if he's 10-2 and he's in the playoff, or if he would happen to win the SEC, or even get to Atlanta for the SEC championship game, then he's going to be okay.
You got your Tyler Shuck jersey yet, like Hunter McCann,
Hunter beat
TK? I mean, four
everybody to
wins in a
punch.
row for the Saints.
Hunter McCann with the Christmas gift wore it at Big Mike's Seafood and Grill Bar and Grill out in Denham the other day for Sports Shorts Radio. But 4 wins in a row, that hadn't happened since 2020, which was the COVID year. And Tyler Shuck, all appearances are he's the real deal. He threw some unbelievable passes. He has gotten better with his chances and opportunity to be on the field. And they got a chance to finish the season with 5 straight wins. And then, they had a different game lineup yesterday. They didn't have Kamara. Olave played well. Then Demario Davis gets a calf injury early in the game. But the Saints win on the road against the Tennessee team. They found themselves down, but hey, they kept their poise, come back and win the game.
Yeah, Saints were down 13-0 to the Titans, who had just come off of a win, and looked like the Titans were going to pull the upset. Saints were able to bend but not break on defense. Had to, Titans had to settle for a lot of field goals, where and they couldn't punch it in much. And Saints bought time, and then had that fourth quarter comeback. And officially busted my bet for the year, Tommy. They now have 6 wins. I had two bets. I had an over under 3.5, and I had an over under 5.5. I took the under on both. I thought 13-0 Titans. Maybe the Titans will win. They can go to Atlanta, tough place to play, rivalry game. I got a chance. I got a chance to sit at 5 wins and make some money. And no, officially, the Saints decided, you know what? We don't need to be a top 5 draft pick. It's more important for us to, get those 6, 7 wins and lose spots in the draft. The Saints can win next week, Tommy, finish 7-10 on the year. Okay, 7-10. Better than we thought. We thought they were going to win 4 or 5 games. They won 7. Great. And instead of picking third or fourth and getting a guy who can truly make a difference, maybe be a Pro Bowler, instead they're going to slide as far as potentially 11th or 12th in the pick. There's 3 teams ahead of them. Actually, 4 teams ahead of them. Uh, uh, and they could potentially slide all the way to 12th with the pick. We'll see, Tommy. We'll see. These guys, unbelievable.
But everybody bashing Mickey Loomis. Did he get it right with Shuck in the second round? It looks like right now it looks good. We'll
Yeah,
see going forward. I mean, everybody wants to bash Loomis for the last bunch of years and the picks and the other situations, but Tyler Shuck, second round pick, what was it, 40th, something like that, really looks to be the real deal, and he's getting comments and attention from the national pundits as well. That's saying, "Hey, this is the deal." Because he's the perfect example. When you get your turn, make the most of it where they can't take you out of the game. Well, they can't take Shuck out of the game. And he'll play against the Falcons next Sunday in Atlanta. By the way, they finally announced the game time for that. It's 12 noon or 1 o'clock in Atlanta, noon in Louisiana.
and look, the reality is, I was at the game when the Saints played in Miami a few weeks ago. If Olave makes that catch with a minute to go, it was a deep ball. I don't know, 40-yard pass, 50-yard pass, whatever the heck it was. I don't even know if it's that far, but Olave dropped the ball. It was, defender fell down. Olave jumped up, went literally right through his hands. It was not that difficult of a catch. If he makes that catch, that's another win probably for the Saints. So,
And
look, the Shuck he deserves the bouquets he's getting. He's been the best rookie quarterback of this class so far. He's played the best. This was the best game of the year that he has played. He threw for over 300 yards, completed over 70% of his passes. I mean, like, didn't have a turnover, a couple touchdowns, like, led him to a victory on the road when they trailed by double digits. I mean, those are all things that a lot of quarterbacks that played this game in the NFL have never done. And
well,
he
and
did
Rob,
them as a rookie.
how about this? That's only the third time in Saints franchise history that they went undefeated in the month of December. I get it way back in the day. They might not have played all the games in December back in the 60s, 70s, but only the third time in franchise history that they went undefeated in the month of December. And obviously, the final game's the January game.
Yeah, and keep in mind, the year they won the Super Bowl, they didn't need to play those last 3 games. They'd already clinched home field, so they threw off a little bit there. And there's probably been some other teams that have done that too, but still impressive. I don't care whatever month you go undefeated, you play 4 games, you win all 4 games. That's something that, again, like, great, great, Tommy, great.
Yeah,
Right.
big time.
I mean, like, the thing is that it means nothing. It literally means that the Saints, whether they win 3 games or 7 games, it means nothing other than it screws those who took the under, because they still are in cap hell. They still are too old at certain positions. They still don't have a good enough roster to win the division or get into the playoffs. They have a good enough roster. And look, it's the NFL. Anybody can beat anybody. And they have a good enough roster and a good enough a few players to where they can be competitive, but there still are a far ways away from being a playoff team and being and don't tell me, well, no, 7 wins. I mean, if they were at 9 or 10, they're only 2 3. No, no, no. It just fell perfectly, this schedule. It was a horrifically weak schedule, and you were taking on teams that were horrifically terrible. And the Jets are one of the worst teams in the NFL. The Titans are the worst. You played the two worst teams in the NFL back to back. So um, the bottom line is that uh, it's fool's gold. These 7 wins are fool's gold. They're not a 7 win team, which is what they're trending towards. Because again, they're going to take on the Falcons, who are horrifically terrible and don't have their quarterbacks or anything. So I don't want the Saints front office to think, hey, 7 wins. We're right there. No, you're further away than you are.
Well, but the NFC South, Carolina surprised this year. Baker Mayfield struggled the last couple of weeks. The Falcons, going to play tonight, and Saints will play on Sunday. So if they can find a way to win 9 or 10 next year, they could win the South. I mean,
Well,
I'm
no,
not.
I get it, Tommy. If you win 10 games, most of the time, 90% of the time, that's enough to get into the playoffs. And in this division, the way it is, it might be enough to win the division. I'm just saying that if you took this roster and this quarterback and this team, and you played them a normal 17-game schedule, the schedule fell so perfect for the Saints down the stretch in the month of December to face horrible teams at horrible times that had nothing to play for. Their most impressive win was definitely at Tampa Bay. They beat Tampa Bay when Tampa had something to play for. They played them in the rain. Don't know if that took, whatever the case may be. That was the most impressive win because Tampa's got something to play for. All these other teams they've been playing and beating are bum teams.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. The schedule did line up favorably there, but that's what happens when you're bad. You have an easier schedule than teams that go 13-4 and 12-5.
All the more reason to not win 7 games, Tommy, and just set your ass
Well,
on
well,
4 or
I
five
guess Todd
wins.
McClure will be pulling for the Falcons tonight and next Sunday, but I don't know. And Falcons are going to give the Saints 2.5 points next Sunday. That's the line now. That could change after tonight's game, obviously, depending if especially if there be an injury Atlanta's way. But kind of interesting the way the Saints. A couple of weeks ago, Ronnie, we mentioned, is it about time to stop talking Saints and Pelicans? And we were like, well, we'll see. Well, 4 games in a row in the NFL, even with the soft schedule, you got to tip your hat.
Well, it's going to be it'll be an exciting offseason because the Saints now, regardless of whether they beat Atlanta or not, they have something to market. You have hope. You have a quarterback that you have said, right or wrong, this guy is our franchise quarterback. We're riding with this cat. Shuck's going to go into the offseason as the starter. That's clear cut. And you have some hope. You finish strong down the stretch. You got your quarterback, and you got optimism, and that's all you can hope for a franchise that's trying to renew season tickets, sell suites, sponsorships, all that sort of thing. So excited for them. Let me see if I can. I'm trying to see how I can get. Let me see, Tommy. Can you see this guy right here? Can you see that guy?
Some guy walking, yeah.
Can you see that guy dancing? Look at him.
He
This
doing the
guy.
Marlboro Mambo or what?
Coach, this guy is in front of a Popeyes between 9 and 10 a.m., like moonwalking or whatever. I don't know what kind of drugs that is. I don't know if he's just that happy. But coach, he's been doing it for a while, so I'm assuming he's either high or special needs or something. But this is the most entertaining thing I've seen in a long time, Tommy. I mean, look at this guy, coach. I
Hey,
mean,
go get a little chilly out there tonight for him.
well, I mean, I'm in Frog Country, Rain, Louisiana. Pulled over to do the show, and this guy has been entertaining me in the parking lot. I'm just amazed by this. But anyway,
More
um,
entertainment than frogs, huh?
yeah, I don't know. Maybe he licked a frog and something. Now
You
he's
got
walking normal. Well, no, now he's back to dancing. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's just the most entertaining thing I've seen, and definitely more entertaining than the LSU game over the weekend. Couple quick notes. Uh, Boosie Badass, the rapper, was at the LSU women's basketball game last night. Everybody was all excited to see him. Shout out Casey McKenzie for getting him there. LSU men's basketball plays tonight against Southern Miss. This is a game they should be able to win. Southern Miss is not good. Southern Miss lost earlier this year, Tommy, to Grambling on the road. So LSU should be favored there. And what is your record now on Pelicans?
15 and 18. Picked up a
Okay.
couple of wins thanks to the Phoenix Suns. Picked up actually 4 of the last 5. And they play the Knicks tonight in New Orleans. Knicks 8.5, 9.5 point favorite. Knicks are a pretty good team, although their Shamet High alum Mitchell Robinson will not play tonight, got a bad ankle. But the Pelicans did lose back to back to the Suns on Friday and Saturday and did not cover.
All right, TK. Give us a shout out of Court Street Cafe on the way out.
All right, Court Street Cafe. Here's your holiday hours for this week. Wednesday and Thursday, which is New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, they will close at 2 p.m. So they open in the morning, get that breakfast, get that lunch, closed New Year's Eve night and New Year's Day night. But they're here 8 to 2 both days. So if you hadn't checked out Court Street Cafe in Port Allen yet, do so. Jason and the staff do a super job here. Saturday night, they got steak night. Sunday, the brunch is awesome and always crowded. Court Street Cafe in Port Allen, again, closing at 2 p.m. on Wednesday and Thursday. Sports Choice Daily will be back Wednesday morning for another edition. Get you more set for the college football playoff. Get LSU basketball, be turning the page into SEC play. The women open SEC play against Kentucky Thursday night. On behalf of Ronnie Rance and everybody here at Court Street Cafe in Port Allen, I'm Tommy Chrysan. Have a great day, everyone.